Hey my friends, it's Catherine Pooler, who's excited for release week. It's time for stamp of approval. Are you excited to see what's in this little box? This is the Beautiful World collection. The items and products in this collection are all centered around creating beautiful hand-stamped cards for those that make your life beautiful. So let's look at what's inside. Did you notice the new box? We have a custom box that's a little bit smaller than the one we've been using, and it also has this really pretty shiny outside, so it's a little bit new and improved. And inside, the first two items, I'm going to show you Gina K. We did a Beautiful World stamp set, which is the namesake of the whole collection. And then we have the little Enchanted Butterfly. So if you meet me at the stamp table, I'll show you some really fun ways to use these products. So let's take a quick look at the greetings in this set. We have Our Time Together is Just Never Quite Enough. Then we have Let Your Smile Change the World, but Don't Let the World Change Your Smile. So this can be stamped, both of them, on the front of a card, or maybe you want to put this on the front and this on the inside. And then of course when you get these products into the design team hands, they come up with things that you didn't even think of. Heather put Our Time Together is Just Never Quite Enough, and then it reminds me of how beautiful my world is. And our original idea was that you used I'm so glad you are here. It reminds me of how beautiful my world is. And then Heather paired these two up, and I didn't even think of that when Gina and I were working on this together. So really fabulous greetings for lots of different people that make your life a better place. So this particular stamp right here, I'm going to show you a couple different ways to use it. Of course, we can just ink it and stamp it. And look at that gorgeous image you've got. I'm over the moon for this stamp. I just love it. Love, love, love. Love it. Maybe you want to do a little bit of kind of ombre stamping with it. So I inked part of it up with pink and part with orange, and check that out. Awesome. Sorry, I start singing when I get excited sometimes. And then we have the Kaleidocolor ink pads. There's ombre ink pads on the market too, which are really, really cool with this stamp. We're just going to ink it up, move it back and forth a little bit to get some blending between the colors, and then we stamp it down, and look at that. Just slap a greeting on there and you've got an awesome card. Next up is embossing. So we're going to ink this stamp with Versamark. You can go any color embossing powder on here. We're going to grab Wow Pink Sorbet. We're just going to heat it up a little before going to the paper. That will help minimize the warping. And then as this heats up, the embossing powder will get shiny and sparkly. Now here is that pink, and here's a card I did with the metallic copper sparkle. So just two on the card front with the greeting right in the middle, and you have a really super simple card ready to go. So now here's a look at a card that I did using both techniques. I did the orange and the pink on the top and used that little bit right here just kind of as a border, and then I did the rest of the stamp, so I kind of stamped the bottom so that it almost looked like a spotlight technique, and then I just did that in an iridescent embossing powder. Now the next technique I'm going to show you is just some straight up clear embossing on colored paper. I think this looks absolutely amazing when it's embossed and made into a card. So I just did Versamark, clear embossing powder. Pretty sure this is Limeade Ice paper by Paper Tray Ink. And then you can see as the embossing powder embosses, it just looks like a tone on tone. Really, really cool background. Then if you want, you can sponge more ink on top of it. You can leave it just like this. I'm going to grab another quick one that I did. This was clear embossing powder with just some watercolor over the top. So many ways that you can use this one little stamp. Now the next stamp I wanted to show you was this frame, and I think it's a fabulous stamp for anchoring and building a whole card around. There's many ways you can use this also. So I have a circle framelit set. This is by Stampin' Up, and I'm sure you have circles in your stash. Most people do, and if you don't, they're are, you know, readily available on the market for many different manufacturers. Circle framelits or circle dies do not come in this collection, but we figured that most of you probably already have them if you have a big shot. So you can die cut this circle out. Look at that. And then you have two pieces. You can use this on a card and you can use this on a card. Now if you want to go further with this, I can take the next size smaller and cut out the center. And now I have the center cut out. Now in that cutout center, we can add a sentiment, and then we can take the swirl stamp and just stamp a little piece of it on there. And here is a card that I made using the tone on tone clear embossing, and then I did dimensional adhesive around this ring and then glued this right on so that it looks like it's two, well, it is two pieces, but it gives a little extra dimension. And then I added some sequins in here so it kind of gives the effect of a shaker card. Now the sequins are not included in the collection either, it's just the stamps and dies, but many of you probably have these on hand already. And then this little butterfly is the Enchanted Butterfly, and I just cut it out and then I sponged it with pink, I used picked raspberry distress ink. So just a quick recap: a Beautiful World stamp set, the Enchanted Butterfly die. We did some embossing with those glittery wow embossing powders, some multicolored inking and stamping, and then we did the clear embossing with the little cutout frame, and then I did this one with the watercolor background. I didn't show you how to do this, but I just took, I did clear embossing, and then I did zig markers over. I just scribbled and then I sprayed and let it dry. So really easy. And then on the inside, the companion sentiment. So if you are not on the wait list yet, cpstampofapproval.com. These collections sell out pretty quickly. You don't want to miss out. And over the next few days, I will be showing you more samples made with the products in this collection, because there's still several stamp sets and dies that I haven't shown you yet. And if you hop over to catherinepooler.com, I will link it if you're watching on YouTube so that you can see the design team samples for the day. You'll see pics of other products as well that I haven't shown you yet. I will see you again tomorrow with another video.